Well, hello. My name is Emily Good, and welcome to my kitchen. I am a yoga instructor, and today we are we are going to do a full body yoga sequence. This yoga sequence for our whole body. So if we did this every day, we would be touching every part of our body. So let's get started. I will also say I am a mom of two, so and my kids are here with me, so they might make an appearance as well.
Soup.
Yep, soup.
Wait, soup for your mouth.
Yeah, soup for your mouth. We're gonna get started sitting. I like to. Go ahead, okay. Okay, so I like to sit up on a block. I do that because otherwise I kind of feel like I round forward. So I like to just elevate my hips. So that's why I do that. So if you want to grab a pillow or a block and just find a good seat for you. You don't have to sit cross-legged. If it's more comfortable for you to sit like this, sit however you want. Just find a seat that works for you. Start to breathe. Start to come into the moment. You are probably practicing at home, so whatever is happening in your house, whatever is going on in your life, just breathe into that, accept it. That is why we are checking in here. Notice the noises, notice the silence, notice how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. Just allow yourself to check in. Once you've done that, let's go ahead and take 3 full rounds of breath together, and then we're going to get right into the movement. But let's just allow ourselves to take this pause and let's breathe together. Let's take a great big inhale in, letting it fill up our belly. Exhale. One more full inhale, exhale. Allow yourself to fill up with breath. Let out as big an exhale as you would like. This is your practice. Let's go ahead and just do a little bit of movement in our shoulders. So go ahead and inhale, taking your shoulders up to the sky. Exhale, sending them down the spine. Let's just find our own movement here. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale the shoulders down. I mean, find your own pace. Just breathe, move with your breath. Oh, man.
Turn it down.
Okay, honey, I will.
I got a pizza, Mommy.
Go ahead and send your shoulders in the opposite direction. So maybe take them up the back and down the front. Down the front. Good. If you are sitting up on a block, go ahead and move that. We're just going to find a little bit of a supine. Is it supine twist? No. Whatever it is. We're going to send our spine around in a circle. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can kind of see. Inhale to the front. Exhale to the back. Really allow your spine to do whatever it wants to do here. You can close your eyes. Just kind of giving our spine the little movement. And these circles can be as small or as big as you want. If you're not feeling a whole bunch of movement right now, let's go ahead and reverse that. Go in the opposite direction. Notice how it makes your spine feel. Just notice. Good. Okay, now let's go ahead and move to tabletop. Okay. Checking in tabletop. Okay, so we're just going to check in. My kids are watching Signing Time and they get excited about it. So that's what's going on here. What's going on at your house? Okay, let's go ahead and press into our fingertips. We're pushing up against gravity here, okay? Our belly is almost a little bit tucked. Our knees are underneath our hips, and we're gonna get moving again. Let's go ahead and move our spine. Inhale, really arch that tailbone up to the sky, taking that chin up towards the wall in front of you. Exhale. Really rounding that spine. Inhale. Exhale. This is cat-cow. Find the movement that feels good for you. Find the pace that feels good for you. We're doing it together, but we're honoring our own practice here. So you move at a pace that feels good for you. You can move super slow, feeling every single movement. Take 2 more full rounds of breath here, Romy. Okay. SilentTime.com. That's right. Sometimes when things aren't quiet the way we want them to be, or there are interruptions, we can find ourselves getting frustrated. So I encourage you, as I encourage myself, to breathe through that. Accept where you're at today. Today I am a stay-at-home mom of 2, so I need to just accept that and thank you for being here with me in my chaos, breathing together, finding our peace. Okay, so go ahead and walk those hands forward a little bit and go ahead and step up. First down dog. Okay, this is such a great stretch. Opening up our calves, opening up our shoulders. Find the down dog that feels good for you. You might find this nice little triangle shape. You might walk your feet up. Just find the down dog that works for you. Go ahead and pedal out your feet wherever you're at.
Mommy.
Breathe. Pressing into those fingertips. Really lifting those hips up towards the sky. Maybe find some stillness here. Good. Go ahead and inhale. Lift that right leg up to the sky. Go ahead and step that leg up and through, taking it up towards the front part of your mat, finding yourself in a high lunge, okay? So shift, move, find where works for you. We want this knee to be directly above the ankle. If your shape doesn't look like this, that is perfectly fine. Wherever you're at today is where you're meant to be. If you need to step that leg back a little bit, if you need to lower down, make it a low lunge, that's wonderful too. Find the lunge that works for you, okay? And just breathe into that. You can bring your hands to your hips. You can lift them up to the sky. Just find the place that works for you. Breathe. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. Go ahead and pivot this back foot down. Press into that outer edge of the foot. Opening up, finding ourselves in Warrior 2. We have our arms nice and strong. Checking in with the shoulders here. Trying to release them down. So if they're up here, that's okay. Just notice that they were. And just see if you can create a little space. And breathing. Go ahead and walk this back arm down, that straightened leg. And go ahead and find peaceful warrior. Exhale, finding yourself in warrior two. This is so good for our legs. We're really strengthening here. We won't hold it too long, okay? Go ahead and shift, taking those toes back to where we started, high lunge. Checking in with your foundations, nice and strong. Good. You can bring your hands to your hips and go ahead and step up, finding yourself in mountain. Mountain might seem like we're just standing here, but if you really allow yourself to be strong, press into those feet, really almost like we're trying to tear our mat in two. So our legs are so strong, okay? If you need to shift, move your clothing. If you're posting to YouTube here, go ahead and just shift yourself. We're strong. We've got a really upward tendency happening in our chest. Our back tailbone is really reaching down. We're strong here. This is a strong, strong pose. Breathe. Check in with how you feel. You can step up back to the top of your mat if you want to. Go ahead and we're gonna do that warrior sequence on the opposite side. So go ahead and step that left leg back. Okay, find yourself in a high lunge here. So notice if this side feels different than your other side did. Again, if you need to lower down, that's wonderful. See where you're at tomorrow. Be where you're at today. So go ahead and find your lunge, whatever that looks like for you. You can extend your arms up. You can have your hands on your hips, whatever you prefer. Just make a choice. Breathe. Good. Go ahead and open up, finding yourself in warrior two. Checking in again with your foundations, feeling your shoulders release down. Pressing into that knife edge of the back foot. And breathe. You might look out over your left hand. See whatever you want to see out there. I'm seeing the ocean right now. Okay, go ahead and bring that right arm down that right leg and go ahead and open up. Look up towards the sky maybe, or the wall in front of you.
Wow! Wow! Hi, Mommy.
Hi, honey. Good. Go ahead and open back up, warrior two. Accept where you're at today. Accept your surroundings the way that they are. Good. So strong here. We are strengthening our legs like crazy. Okay, shifting back to your lunge. Find your lunge, whatever that looks like for you. You might open up here. Good. And go ahead and gracefully as you can, go ahead and step up. Finding your mountain pose. I will face you again. Feeling the strength, pressing into our feet. We're not just standing, we're strong. Activate the body, activate the legs, feeling your chest reaching up towards the sky while breathing. Take 2 more full rounds of breath here, allowing yourself to take in all the air you can. Okay, good. So I'm going to scoot my yoga mat back. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a little balance pose, because balance is so important for us. So let's find some balance in an actual Asana. Okay, so go ahead and really press into your left leg. Also here, check in. Notice how your body is evenly distributed, your weight is evenly distributed. We're not leaning to one side, we're not leaning to the other. So we're gonna hold on to this upward tending, this balance here. Go ahead and find your right heel either pushing into that calf. You can leave those right toes on the ground. You can find yourself lifting up for a full tree pose. So something that can help, you can find a variation here. You can play with your arms. You can find some movement here. You can find stillness. Find what works for you. Breathe wherever you're at. It helps to find a spot on the wall in front of you. Find a spot that's not moving. You might feel your right foot pressing into that left leg and that left leg pressing right back. Finding that balance there. And breathe. If you start to shift, if you start to move, breathe into that. Allow that to happen and then find yourself back. Go ahead and take 2 more full rounds of breath here. Notice how you're feeling. If you're kind of wobbling, if you're kind of not holding it, if this is what you can do today, be there with that. Tomorrow might be different, but wherever you're at today is exactly where you're supposed to be. So just notice how you're feeling. Notice how you react to challenge, and breathe through that. Laugh at yourself. I love to laugh at myself. And just enjoy wherever you're at today. That's really what I encourage you to do. So let's shift to the other side, okay? So standing really firm into that right leg. Find whatever arm movement works for you. You can bring your hands to your hips. You can bring them up. You can find prayer, whatever works for you. And play. Take that heel up. Finding a nice length here. Noticing if we're collapsing into this hip, feel yourself lifting up, not shifting into any side. We're nice and strong. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for being here. Breathe wherever you're at is beautiful. Be there. Breathe. That left foot is pressing into wherever we're at, and that right leg is pressing right back. Go ahead and release whenever you're ready. Thank you. Thank you for doing that with me. Thank you for practicing. However that went for you. Thank you. Thank yourself. All right. Let's go ahead and take it back down to the ground. Let's go ahead and do one of my very favorite things. I love to do a good roll down. Go ahead and release the chin to the chest and allow the weight of the head to pull you down. Pause wherever you're at. Feel, see if you can you release your head a little bit more? Can you release it? Can you release your arms a little bit more? Continue to roll down. You might hold on for a minute, honey.
I got another one.
Good job. Yep. Can you go give that to her? Thank you. Holding on to your elbows maybe. Maybe you shift from side to side. Find release however you can. Go ahead and press into those hands. Walk feet back, finding yourself in downward facing dog. Notice how you're feeling here. Let's just do a little strengthening. We have strengthened subtly today, but let's do something really intentional. Go ahead and shift forward, find a plank pose. Now, this is plank. This is also plank. Keep the tummy engaged, press into those knees if that's what you need to do. Come up here. Or you can release down to the forearms if that feels a little bit better. Let's just breathe here though. Find your plank, let it be whatever it is, and breathe. A nice long line here. We're not collapsed down, we're not up, we're nice and strong. A long line. Uh-oh. Take 3 more full rounds of breath here. Good. Go ahead and slowly, mindfully, easily release those knees down. Come back to extended child's pose. We're reaching our arms towards the front part of our mat. We're still active here even as we're released. So find that balance. Breathe. Notice how you feel. Allow yourself to get quiet. Allow yourself to get still. Take another full round of breath there, a full inhale, exhale. When you're ready, go ahead and shift up, finding yourself in that tabletop position. Let's go ahead and do a little something for our hips. This is probably my very favorite thing. Check in here, catch your breath if you need to. Allow your breath to slow down a little if it's going fast. Go ahead and kick that right leg out, straightening it. And go ahead and bring that knee up and through, landing that knee in front. Finding yourself shifting here. We're finding ourselves in pigeon pose. So I will show it to the front because somebody did ask me to do that, and of course I will. But if you're here and you found it already, then go ahead and see where it feels good for you. You can stay up here. Just find the place that it feels like you're releasing the most. Where do you feel it at in your hip the most? You can release down to your forearms. You can release down to your forehead. Breathe into that. Notice if you're holding tension in your forehead. Notice if you're holding tension in your shoulders. See if you can release that. See if the only place you can feel your tension at is in that hip that we're releasing. Okay, so I'm going to show this to the front here for you. So I'm going to kick that leg back, and what I do is let that leg land, and I'm going to shift back. So almost so that my left hip is almost towards the ground. I guess that you can't really see. But I'm just gonna kind of shift back and forth until I find where I feel it at the most. And that's when I release down. Breathe wherever you're at. Especially if you sit, this is such a wonderful pose to do. It just is marvelous. It's magic. When you're ready, go ahead and press into those hands. Slowly maybe walk those hands up. Good. Go ahead and I'm going to, from here, I'm gonna kind of let those toes curl down, and then I'm going to walk those legs back. So I'm going to do that to the other side. Obviously I only have the one camera, so it's hard to show different poses, but I'm doing my best here, just as you are, I know. Okay, so pressing into that right knee now, we're going to lift our left leg. And we're going to bring that left leg up And then go ahead, find your pigeon pose. If your pigeon pose doesn't look like this, that's perfect. That's still perfect. You just find the place where you feel the most in that hip. We don't want it to be shooting pains. We don't want to be going numb here. So if you are, go ahead and ease out of it and find your way back in. Allow yourself to gracefully find the pose that works for you. Once you find that, you can release down to your forearms. You can stay up. You can certainly stay up. Try again tomorrow. See if it's any different. And breathe. Go ahead and take 5 more full rounds of breath. Okay, finding yourself shifting up, pressing into this. Okay, honey, I will. I'm almost done, okay? I'm almost done, okay? Go ahead and line out those knees, bring those big toes together. Go ahead and ease back to extended child's pose. Breathe here and notice how your hips are feeling. Good. Go ahead and shift up, and you might gracefully try to find yourself to a seated pose.
Mommy!
Yeah, honey.
Mommy, that's all dirty.
Okay, honey, I know. I'll clean it.
What has it get?
Okay, go ahead and extend your legs out long here. You can flex them, you can point them, make a choice. Just make a choice. Go ahead and inhale your hands up to the sky, really feeling your body lengthening. And exhale, go ahead and find a forward fold. Uh-oh, it's starting to get a little bit wild here. Okay, so I hope you were able to stay in. Extend and fold. Feeling the stretch in your back body. If you need to curl those or bend those knees, and just breathing. Accepting your home situation, accepting where you're at. Here comes trouble. Okay, so coming up, go ahead and make your way down to your back. Go ahead and press. Okay, so come down to your back. Bring those feet up towards your hips. Go ahead and reach those hips up towards the sky, finding yourself in a nice bridge pose. If this feels like too much for you, go ahead and find a block. Mine are currently occupied by my almost 1-year-old. And set it underneath your lower back. Come here, girl. No, come here. So hold yourself in bridge pose. Okay, so holding that bridge pose, go ahead and hold it for 3 more full rounds of breath. Release down. Take whatever additional movements you need here. You might find yourself in happy baby. You might shift from side to side if you need a little bit more hip opening. You could take a full body lengthening stretch. Find any movement you need and find yourself in Shavasana. Find yourself in Shavasana when you are ready. And allow yourself to stay there as long as you can. Go ahead and breathe. As is typical with any yoga video, I'm going to have to sign off. I hope that you hold it. I hope that you are able to breathe. I hope you're able to enjoy. I hope you come back to this. I thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for being here. Take good care. Namaste.